Hi, I'm Marilyn D'Andrea, owner of Sana Vita Studio. What makes Sana Vita Studio unique is our ability to develop an empowering strategy for you. It is so very important to not confuse sensation, how hard an exercise is, with its effectiveness. The best athletes are not the strongest, but are the ones who have movement patterns that focus on proper alignment of that movement, proper controlling of that movement, and very important, proper breathing. This proper form is essential for success whether you're training for general fitness, to sports events, and or competition. When your body recognizes instability, it will create more restrictions and tightness because it's trying to guard against bad movement and potential injury for you. That's why stretching itself does not make you feel less tight. It is the quality of your training which influences your progress much more than the quantity. We here at Sana Vita Studio will help you create your most optimal strategy, and this will help you to live and move freely without pain as a result of developing these more optimal habits. Hi, so we're going to start today with some exercises to help loosen your hips and lower back. This is something that will really help you, like especially if you tend to sit too long at your desk, if you're maybe driving in the car too long, working on your phone, things like that. You can do some of these exercises during the day and you'll be amazed at how it'll help you to release any tightness. So when I talked about, that it's really important to have alignment of your body, that control of your movement is important, but also breathing is imperative in how you breathe. So we're going to show that, and I'm going to have Julie lie down on the mat right here, and she's going to have her knees bent. When you're lying down, you always want to be in, again, proper form, and what that means is being in neutral position. Neutral position means that the lower back near the waistband of your pants is just slightly off the mat so that I can place my hand right here and I feel a little bit of a space. At the bottom of her ribs, that's going to be touching the mat. So you're going to have the bottom of the ribs touching the mat, but you're going to have, again, by the waistband of your pants a little bit forward. She's going to plant her feet and you're going to press into the big toe, little toe heel so that the whole foot is planted. Everything else is relaxed. She's going to take her fingers and put them around her ribs, and this is going to help her to feel this movement pattern. So what we're looking to do with this is that you're going to expand your ribs left to right, front to back, and top to bottom. In this 3 positions, that's the maximal way that you can get the most oxygenation for your body. So if we look at that, you're going to inhale through your nose, and it's going to be for a count of 1, 2, 3, and then exhale, and again through your nose, sort of practice through your nose first, and you're exhaling for a count of 6. So again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now Julie will continue to do that breath, but I want you to focus on, do I feel my lungs expanding? Again, left to right, front to back, and top to bottom. It's really important to feel that 3 directions of your breath. You also want to make sure you're releasing your abdominals when you do this. Release the pelvic floor. You don't want to have those contracted. You want to have those nice and released. And then when you exhale, you can draw up a little the pelvic floor, draw your abs in as the ribs come in. So this is the breath that you're going to be doing for all of the different exercises that we will be doing today. Okay, so from there we're going to come to standing. So taking that idea of proper alignment again, I'm going to have Julie face in this direction. And when you're standing, again, you want to stand in this neutral position. And this is true just in everyday life also. So in neutral position, you have your pelvis forward like that. So you're not in a tuck of your butt. You don't want to be squeezing and engaging your glutes too much. You want to have a forward tilt. But that does not mean this, arching, Julie showed arching your upper back. So do you see how that's like the ballet dancer stance? And it's not an effective way to stand, and it ends up really putting way too much pressure on your lower back. So we want the ribs actually to draw down so that you're not overly arched in the upper. You want to draw this down a little as you keep that forward tilt on your pelvis. Your head is back, she puts it right into my hand, the chin is down. So that keeps the proper form so we can see all the way from the top of her head down the middle of her arm, and we can see if I track it, it goes all the way down to her ankle, and she's in nice straight alignment. And that's what you want to see when you're standing and doing other, even in everyday life, you want to try to stay in this neutral position, whether you're standing, sitting, on the sofa, all of those times, to try to do it as often as possible. From here, a very effective thing to do are squats. But again, you want to do a squat properly. Really, I want you to first do a squat with a tuck and back and round your back and stick your head up. Okay, this is how a lot of people do a squat. Her shoulders are up, her back is rounded, she's sticking her butt down, her head is up. This is an ineffective way to do a squat. So what you really want to do is when you come up, you want to go down and you want to maintain that neutral pelvis. So she's going to push her tailbone back. She's going to make sure her ribs are not overarched. Her chin is down. And then you're going to push your arms forward. It's called protraction, but you're going to make sure that you feel a nice stretch, and it goes right under here, under the armpits, reaching chin down just a little. And you'll see she has a straight line from her butt to the top of her head. The weight, come back up, Julie, come back up. The other thing, the weight on her feet, when you go down, we tend, especially when something is hard, we squeeze our toes. We start scrunching up our toes, and we also lean back in a squat and start lifting our toes up. What you want to do when you go down in the squat is make sure the toes are spread and you're pressing into your big toe, little toe heel. And the way you know if you're doing it correctly is you mostly feel it in your butt and the back of your legs rather than your thighs and knees. That's really important. So we go back up, inhale, and exhale, and she's going to go in the squat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, she goes down, sticks the butt out, spreads out the toes. Inhale. Exhale, reaching the arms. Good. And Julie, you feeling the back of your legs?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
How many more?
And 100 more. And down and up. That looks really good. And down and up. One more. And you're going to stay down. Draw your head just a little. And do a little pulse. And pulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come up. And then do this and just lift one knee up at a time. When you're done doing these exercises, you should always feel that your body has actually gotten looser. That's how you know you've done it in the proper form, alignment, and proper breathing. Did you feel a little looseness in your hips? All right. So that's a really important one. Then you can also do a wide leg. And same thing, you can just, let's face that way first, just to show people. Now put your feet wide, like this. Okay, there you go, and go down. Once again, the tendency would be to tuck your butt under. You want to keep the anterior tilt, your ribs back, chin in like this, and she can actually have her arms a little out this way. So that's how she's going to look. So again, it's in a nice straight line. Come back up, Julie. We're going to do it facing forward so people can see this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down like this. You want your knee tracking on your second toe, and we're going to pulse down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stay down. We're going to step to the left, bring the legs together, go back down, pulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax shoulders. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Come up to the other side. Squeeze the inner thighs. And now we're going to go one more time each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing. 6, 7. Relax your shoulders. 10, 11, 12. Come up. Bring those heels together. One more time, go down. Knee tracks on the second toe. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Come up, squeeze the inner thighs. So we're going to go down again in that wide squat position. We're going to move to the right and we're going to lift our leg, hold it in balance, go down, lift up, hold. Go down. Now this may look simple, but it's much harder than it looks. Trying to keep your balance, and down and up and down, lift, down, lift, 4 more, down, and 1, and down, 2, down, 3, down. Stay in the center now, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arms forward, 1, separate those shoulders, 4, 5, 6, and come up. Again, very important not to squeeze your shoulder blades back. That creates a lot of tension in your upper back. That's really unnecessary. So I'm going to have Julie come down on her hands and knees now. Good. And when you're in this position, again, if we're looking at neutral pelvis, she does not have the tuck of the butt like this. She has neutral pelvis. She has her ribs drawn up a little. Her head is forward, so chin in. And then we're going to open up those shoulder blades by pressing, feeling that wrap of your shoulder blades underneath your armpits. From here, you're going to try to maintain that the weight is going to stay even in the center. She is going to bring her right leg back like this. The tendency now with this is that the hip would come up. She would bend her arm and start leaning over there. We want to stay in the center. Open the shoulders, and with a nice long leg, she's going to lift up and down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it in, drop it down. Another thing you can focus on to help you with this is make sure if you're bringing your right leg back, you have your weight mostly on your right hand, keeping the hips straight. Now you're going to bring in 3 pulses in and 1 back, Julie. So 1, 2, 3, bring it back, and again, bring it in, 1, 2, 3, straight back, nice, 1, exhale, exhale, bring it back, and again, 1, 2, 3, bring it back, and we bring it in again, 2, 3, without a tuck at all, and 1, 2, 3, and back, 2 more, exhale, 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 bring it back. 1 more. 2, 3. Now keeping the leg back, dropping the right hip down, keeping weight on your right hand. We're going to move that leg left and right. And 1, and exhale in. And 2. Now you're trying to keep your upper body stationary and just try to move your leg bone freely in your hip socket. So that's only as far as you're going to go. And over. And exhale, 2 more. Good. And 8. And then bring the knee in and sit back down and stretch. Very nice. You always want to give yourself a nice release by sitting back in child's pose. And then she's going to come back up. So we're going to really make sure the hand placement is good. The thumbs are facing each other. The middle finger is straight forward. The shoulders are nice and open. And she's going to bring the left leg back now. And she's going to first do the first one. So we're going to line her up. And we're going to lift up and down. 1, 2, and lift. And breathe. 4. Good. And up. Good. And then from here, bring the left knee in. Pulse it. 2, 3. Bring it back. Keeping that nice and controlled. When you bring it in, try not to tuck the tailbone as you're doing this. And you lengthen out. And bring it in, and 2, 3. Another thing, you want to just make sure that opposite leg, like for here, the right leg is nice and straight. You're not leaning over to the right, staying right in the center, and back. 3 more, and in, 2, 3, and back. Good, and in, 2, 3, and back. 1 more, and in, 2, 3. We're going to keep that back, keeping the left hip down, staying over to the, and we're going to bring that left and right inhale, exhale. And again, the idea is that you can freely move the hip, the leg bone in the hip socket without having to move your torso, without having to do gripping in your shoulders. Good, and over, and exhale, and exhale, and exhale. Good. And last two. Exhale. One more. And then she's going to sit back in child's pose and feel that nice stretch again. Deep breathing. Very nice. Okay, so our next exercise is sideline. One of the things, the first thing you want to do, let me just take this block away for a second. You don't want to have your head like this, where the top of your head is much lower than your chin. And you don't really want to be up here either, where this is much higher than your chin. You want to have a block or a pillow so that your neck is in proper alignment, from the forehead and the chin are in the same alignment, so you don't create any stress there. The second thing you want to do is lift the bottom ribs off the mat, and that will automatically lengthen the top leg to be longer than the bottom leg. From here, you're going to relax the shoulders. She's going to lift this left leg up and bring it to the back, and we're going to do leg circles, and we're going to do circles around 1, 2. She's going to do 8 in each direction. The key here is being able to freely move in the hip socket, again, without making this move. And then as soon as she's done with 8, she's going to go 8 the other way, circling around. Good. And then she'll relax, bend both knees forward, and just to give it a stretch, we're going to take a breath, bring the left arm forward, exhale, turn and twist toward the back, and just feel that nice rotation. Again, the rotation is from the ribs up, not from your lower back. That actually stays stacked on both. So we're going to come back now. We're going to make the legs straight again, getting in proper form, lifting the bottom waist. Take the top leg, bring it forward. And now from here, without again tucking the butt, we're going to do 8 circles in each direction. And breathing, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 the other way, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put the leg back on top of the other. Bend both knees forward. Bringing the arm forward, take a breath, and exhale, rotate again from the ribs up. This is staying in neutral pelvis. Both knees are still aligned. Nice. Just give herself a stretch. And then we're going to come back to the center again. Straighten both legs. This time we're going to do a full circle around. So you're going to take the top leg, bring it forward, and do a big circle all the way to the back and down. Again, you only make this position where you can hold the bottom of the ribs off the mat. You're not tensing up your neck and shoulders. And exhale, 3, and reach 4, good, and 5, this is staying in nice proper form, 6, 2 more, and 7, and 1 more, 8, and then, as for a second, then we're going to go the other way, 8 in the other direction. It's going to start in the back and reach up and around, 1, and lift up, exhale, 2. Again, you determine how big you want to make this movement. It's not the most important thing. If you need to make it a smaller circle, but you're keeping proper form, that's much more important. And 5, good, nice, and then, and 1 more, and 8, very nice. From here, she's just going to do one more time, bend the knees forward, take that arm, both arms forward now, bending this arm, reach back, look up toward the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, bring it back. So we're going to just do a nice little rotation for that upper back. And exhale. Good. And inhale. And reaching like that. And exhale. And bring it forward. Inhale, open. A nice expansion of the lungs and the ribs. And bring it back. We're going to do one more time. And then stay here and just let that drop. We're going to inhale. 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, full expansion, 1, 2, 3. As you exhale, you should feel that arm falling to the ground as it releases, because your body feels that it's safe to do so. One more time, inhale. And one more time, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From here, I'm going to have Julie lie on her back. And again, if you want your chin and your forehead to be in alignment, if it is not, you're going to place a towel underneath your head or block or whatever you might need in order to have that neutral head placement. Once again, she has a little space by the waistband of her pants, but by the bottom of the ribs there is no space. And she's going to straighten both legs. Okay? So we were using the left legs. We're going to do the same thing with the legs. Let me move this out of your way. With the leg circles, and bring the left leg up, and then circle around and down, up and around. The key here is to keep both hips from moving, and you don't want to flatten and arch your back. You want to keep that neutral pelvis, and that'll determine how big your circle is going to be. And reach around 5. How does it feel, Julie? Okay? Good. Exhale, 6. Good. And exhale, 7. Good. 8. 2 more. And 9. Good. And 10. And then you're going to bring your knee into your chest. Lengthen that right leg. Good. And then you're going to straighten the left leg. Release the hip. Good. And then from here, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it in the opposing direction. So draw your knee into your chest and bring it up to the ceiling. And arms are down. Again, that neutral pelvis. Let's go the other way and circle around and up. Good. Full breath, diaphragmatic breathing, that 3-dimensional breath. Keeping the hips nice and aligned. And exhale, 4. Good. And around. And 5. Good. 6. Nice. 7. Good. And 8. 2 more. And 9. And 1 more. And 10. Draw the knee into your chest again. Feel that nice lengthening. And then we're going to push that leg out. Good. And then we're going to go to the other side. So you can take your block with you. And you're going to go to the other side. And turn around. Good. Nice. So you can see they're very simple exercises, but they're very effective if done properly. So bring your upper body a little further back. There you go. And then the bottom of the ribs are lifted off. You have not a big arch in your back. You have neutral pelvis here. And you're going to lift your top leg. Bring it slightly to the back and do the leg circles and circle around and lengthen. You want to keep the leg lengthening. Yeah. You can bend your bottom leg, by the way, forward to help balance. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 the other way, and circles. 1, 2, and 3. Lengthen. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rest the knee for a second. And let's actually bend them forward. Let's do that. Twist back. Just hold it one time and just feel that nice opening. And then come back. And then we're going to do straight legs again. Again, you can always bend your bottom leg to help you to stay centered. Bottom waist lifted. Bring the top leg forward. And we're going to do 8 in each direction. And again, not letting this waist. And you decide. So this is the small one still. The small 8.
Oh.
Yeah, small forward. 1. There you go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bend the knees. And then one more time, give yourself the nice stretch again from the ribs up. Draw the knees up just a little bit more. Hold that. Good. And then bring your arm back and do the large circles. So again, you can have both legs straight, or you can keep the bottom one bent a little. And we'll do the full circle, and you decide how large by if you can maintain your proper form. And exhale, 2. Nice. And exhale, 3. And 4. And 5. Good. 6. And 7. And 8. Let's go the other way. And 9. And yeah, I gotta do 10. And sometimes, let's go the other direction. You might not do the same amount on each leg because one leg is a little weaker than the other, and if it compromises your form, you might change that. And 4. But Julie's doing fine, so we can do the same amount. And 6. And 7. Good. And keep reaching around. Good. And around. 1 more. And 10. Okay, now bend both knees forward. We'll do the forward and back, 3 of those. So inhale, bend your arms and go back. And then exhale, come forward. Inhale, bend. Again, that rotation is from the ribs up. And exhale, forward. And one more. And you're going to stay here. And now you're going to do that inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale and exhale. And you can see that every time that she exhales, because she's doing this properly, her arm naturally falls to the mat. Let's do that one more time, because it's really amazing when, again, you put your body in the right form, why it works. You don't even have to think that I'm necessarily stretching. Okay, then you're going to lie on your back. And we're going to do leg circles on your back. So again, Julie doesn't need a towel or anything because her forehead and chin are in proper form. But for some people will need that. Bring it down just a little. You're lengthening both legs. And remember to keep the space by the waistband of your pants so you're not flattening and arching. And the bottom of the ribs are down. So bring that right leg now up. And we're going to do leg circles around. 1. Good. And notice Julie is keeping her weight even on both hips. That's really important. She's not letting herself move front to back, left to right, and around. And she's number 5. Good. And nice. And around. Good. And her shoulders are nice and open. Last 2. Good. And last 1. And then bring the knees into your chest. Hug them. And then straighten that right leg. And give it a nice lengthening. Good. Then we'll bring the knee back into the chest. And then straighten it up to the ceiling. We're going to go in the opposite direction, going around. One of the things that happens is we tend to sometimes lift our shoulders toward our ears. You're going to try to keep the shoulders down and open the chest muscles all relaxed. Because you really only want to be using the muscles you need to work. You don't need to be using a bunch of extemporaneous muscles. Good. And around. And yes. And all right. Bring that knee back in. Lengthen it. Excellent. Okay. And then bring both knees into your chest, actually. Just hug them both. Good. Give them a nice hold. Good. And then place your feet down. Good. And from here, your feet are hip width apart. It's going to spread out your toes, pressing into the big toe, little toe, heel. We're going to come up into a bridge. Okay, in bridge position, we tend to tuck the tailbone. Again, we're going to try to keep just the bottom of the ribs slightly on the mat. And then your hips are up. Your legs are straight, so you don't want them turned out. And from here, just pulsing the hips up. 1, 2, 3, and I'm looking to see that the left and the right are aligned. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a breath. Sequentially roll down your spine. Very nice. Bring your chin down just a little. There you go. Then from here, take a breath. Exhale, lifting the hips up. Bottom of the ribs stay down on the mat. Take the right foot off the mat. Place it, put it back down. Then the left leg. So we're marching in place, and I'm looking again to see that her hips remain aligned, that she's not scrunching up her toes, that she's not just going onto her heels, but she's going onto her entire foot. And back down. 7, good. 8, and 9, and take a breath. Sequentially roll down your spine again. Why don't you straighten your legs out just to give them a stretch. Good. Good. And then we'll just do one more thing in this. Bending the knees again. Spreading out the toes. Exhale, lift up. Good. And then from here, take the right leg out. And from here, bring it up to the ceiling. Again, we're going to align both. This is a little more challenging. And you're going to lift up and down. 2, keeping this knee nice and straight. The toes spread out. And 5, 6, 7, good. 8, 9, 10. Bend the knee, put it down. Let's go to the other leg. If you need to take a break, you can take a break, or else come back up. Again, aligning both, keeping this knee straight, lift 1, 2. She's keeping the bottom of her ribs from lifting off. 5, 6, good. 8, 9, and 10. Bend the knee, put it down. Take a breath, roll down the spine. And then you're going to come to sitting up with your legs straight, because we're just going to give a nice stretch for the back of the legs. Here's what's imperative when you're forward folding. You don't want to be like this, so come back, where her lower back is rounded. This is going to come forward. You need to bend your knees to get there. And then you relax your neck and shoulders as she reaches her arm forward and does that three-dimensional breath of inhaling for a count of 3 and exhaling for a count of 6. That helps the body to release and feel that this is a safe movement, and it will help to release the muscles when you do that. Nice breath. And then we're just going to come to standing and just see if Julie feels better from doing these things. And you always test it out by just turning left to right and seeing if it feels, does that feel looser, Julie?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Then you want to see, is my balance better? If I spread out my toes on my right foot and I bring my left one up, does it feel like I can balance a little? It feels pretty good to balance, right? And then again, one more, and one more. Very good. And then when you do your squat, do your hips feel looser when you're doing the squat? It's an also indication that you've done everything in really good form and alignment. And then we're going to just take a breath and exhale and forward fold. Once again, you want to make sure this is flat. Notice Julia's not rounding, that you may have to bend your knees to get there. The other thing you'll often see is lift your head up, is people hold their head up. That's just tension from your nervous system. When it's relaxed, your head, the crown of the head will be at the bottom there. And then take a breath, Julie, and exhale and come up. Good. And thank you very much. It feels better, right?
I feel great.
Thank you for viewing our video. Our instructors here at Sana Vita are a uniquely qualified group of individuals who can definitely help you succeed. When you attend classes regularly, you will begin to see a transformation within about 6 weeks or so of starting. But this can only happen if you are consistently challenging yourself to do more. At the end of one of our sessions, be it classes or private sessions, you should have a smile on your face and a skip in your step because you feel so much more balanced. You will also see a natural and satisfying progression. And as Joseph Pilates said, you're only as old as your spine is young. We have many, many exciting and healthy exercise trends to teach you, and you can look forward to an exercise experience which will be educational, challenging, and also rewarding. And finally, you cannot necessarily be anything you want to be, but you can be a lot more of who you already are. The real you can shine. Your brilliant best self awaits. If you have additional questions, just feel free to contact me at sanavitaschicago@gmail.com, or you can visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and please make sure that you like us. Thank you.